One way to think about China's military challenge is that it is trying to impose costs on the ability of the United States and its allies to gain access to the global commons around the Asia-Pacific region. As a result of this anti-access challenge, I believe that Japan needs to respond by essentially mimicking China's strategy, by adopting China's anti-access strategy to turn the tables on China. Some of the key elements of a Japanese anti-access strategy, if you will, is to essentially create a geographic barrier along the so-called First Island chain, which stretches from the Japanese islands through Taiwan down through the Philippines. The goal here is essentially to increase the costs of Chinese access to the global commons in the East China Sea. And Japan can do this at relatively affordable costs because Japan already possesses all of the military capabilities in order to do so. So, for example, I believe that Japan can and has already invested more in its submarine fleet that will essentially serve as blocking forces to prevent Chinese access into the Pacific through the choke points in the narrow seas along the southwestern islands. I think that Japan can also impose similar types of costs by deploying land-based maritime strike platforms, such as the truck-mounted anti-ship cruise missile units, deployed on the southwestern islands that would put at risk China's surface fleets operating in the East China Sea, and again, forming a blocking position to prevent Chinese forces from breaking into the Pacific. I think Japan can also employ mines. This is probably a bit more controversial, but again, Japan can use mines defensively to prevent Chinese access into key portions of maritime Asia. And all of these capabilities are things that Japan already possesses. Japan has the skill sets to use them very effectively. And again, the goal here is to impose costs, to raise the risks to Chinese military actions in Asia that would then in turn bolster deterrence.